Hello and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick, and today we're looking at Voxelstein 3D, which is a readaptation of a 3D engine to be completely based on voxels. And if you don't know what voxels are, well, I'll try my best to explain it, because it does kind of matter for the specific game. As you may know, polygons are sort of a volumetric surface mapping where you can set out a number of points which will connect to each other and create a solid space, whereas voxels are, in this case, they're mapped based on their location with reference to the other voxels. So what that means is basically the game engine here took some pixel maps and just overlaid those pixels to be voxels. So what that's going to allow me to do is sort of dynamically alter the entire environment based on where these pixels and voxels are located. So in this case, I'm actually able to pixel by pixel break away the bars of this cage, which is how I actually am supposed to get out of this, which is a very interesting way to approach things. And even more interesting that there seems to be some gravity involved. So these voxels as a chunk, they seem to have some mass, which is a really cool thing. And this is the exact type of thing that I would like to see more 3D games embrace, although I have to admit, obviously, it's not the most amazing looking thing, at least yet. I imagine as this technology gets better implemented into future texture maps, perhaps we could actually modify the voxels in ways that will create a very realistic looking deformation. So like you would apply the usual stuff where you're actually cutting away at voxels, but then you'd also overlay that on top with another map that would create maybe decals or something like that to make it look a little bit more accurate. So not everything is deformable in this, but pretty close to it. I mean, some of these solid walls you can't do much with. This one, unfortunately, just poke into, but like the door here, you can actually cut a hole into, which is really cool. And think about all the strategic advancements that could have as far as how it affects a first-person shooter. Just knowing that walls are not all completely solid and unbreakable. So you might be able to create your own new way through a level. And I mean, it's done a few times before. Games like Red Faction have done this in the past, but, you know, with polygonal mapping instead of voxels. So I guess there's a few ways to approach it, but I find this way to be particularly interesting since you can deform things at such a small micro level. I mean, this it actually looks pretty good too, the way that these pixel maps are done. I could imagine it could be a lot worse, and this is actually quite a gory scene. I can't really tell exactly what's going on, but it looks pretty awful, whatever it is. So I should probably mention how this is based off of Wolfenstein 3D. I'm sure you guys have probably played it as one of the first, if not the first-person shooter to come in existence, and it was created by id Software, which, you know, later on went on to make Doom and Quake and all those great games that we know and love today. So yeah, they were innovators right from the start, and I can't stop poking these things because it's such a cool feature. Obviously, this particular, I want to say map, I guess is what we'd call this, is not actually based on Wolfenstein. I believe this is entirely original, with exception to the map, the textures, I should say. I wonder if I can go in here. What's in here? Don't worry, I'll stop poking things and actually get into the game pretty soon, but I never looked through this door here. So yeah, the usual framing for this game is you are, I think his name is like J.D. Blazkowicz or something, I could be wrong on that, but he is trapped in a camp in World War II, or maybe not trapped, maybe he's actually infiltrating it is more correct, and you get to kill Nazis and all that good stuff, and it's usually a very bland affair as far as the looks of the game go. It's one of the first 3D engines, so everything is inherently based on basically a 2D model, so it's like a hybridized 2D, 3D. That's kind of funny. Where, although things are actually 3D, they are about as close to 2D as possible, and they're based on everything being 2D sprites, so there's no actual overlapping when it comes to the way that the polygons are done. where you'll see things like in Quake, for example, where there are free-hanging structures In Wolfenstein, there's no such thing as that. Everything exists on a top-down perspective. So if you were mapping this based on looking down from like a schematic of a building, you would not be able to see anything overlapping anything else. It would all be basically flat, top-down. What normally would happen with a game like that would be all of these structures, like the lights and the decals and all that stuff, would be a flat texture, like a single 2D sprite that you would see from all directions as if it was the same. Now in this case, since we've got voxels, I believe this is not the case anymore. It's hard to tell though, unless I stab this a few times perhaps. If I create, yeah, so this should be actually a 3D structure. Although we're still using 3D loosely here because of the voxel engine, but you guys in the comments can probably explain it a lot better than I can. So yeah, feel free if you guys would like to take that role on, because I'm not an expert by any means. Oh, that was not a well-placed Kartoffeln grenade. Potato bomb. I'm in a position now where I might get stuck. Oh, thankfully, the developer was somewhat merciful in letting me cut through large chunks of this wood at once. This would have been really cool to see in something like Half-Life 2, where they did do a pretty damn good job with the physics, but I would like to have seen even more customizable deformation. And I think that's really where the future of first-person shooters is going to go. Once we have the processing power, we're going to start to see a huge emphasis on destructible terrain and destructible everything. I mean, we've already started it. Games like Battlefield have actually incorporated very minor and mostly cosmetic destructible terrain and buildings and such. But it really doesn't usually take a huge role on the formation of the whole thing. I'm going to try and get whatever this gun is back here. But in the future, I would love to see that you could actually completely break apart every single object in a structure, every single structure on a map, down to the ground, basically. Just flatten it, and then cut into the ground even more. Even games like Red Faction Guerrilla, they did a great job at attempting to begin doing that kind of stuff, but most of the structures and terrain were not destructible. I mean, there are a lot, for sure, but the majority of stuff is not. And that will make the difference when the engine is inherently built up upon the premise of being able to destroy every single object. Although it will make game design very difficult, I have to admit. This is getting a little tedious here. Okay, there we go. So now I can cut through everything with my awesome minigun. That was not as good as I was hoping. But yeah, when you're trying to design a level based on the ability to go and do wherever, or go wherever you want, do whatever you want, there is probably not going to be any limit to that. What's in here? Can I find, like, soda cans? What is this, anyway? Very colorful inside. I'm kind of curious how they did the voxel mapping with regard to internal structures. Because I would think that this would basically be a 3D map as far as, like, a primitive shape. But beyond that, how would you approach mapping what's inside of it? I mean, this is outside of my realm of what I even know to be talking about, so I might just be mistaken on how this even works, but feel free to let me know. I can't stop poking stuff, it's an obsession. Oh, apparently bullets aren't as powerful as a knife. I wouldn't have expected that. Alright, we should find some more zombies pretty soon. Now this is actually quite interesting. There's a pretty detailed shadow map going on in the ground here, and I wonder how exactly that's calculated, and how light sources even work with voxels. I would imagine if we're treating every one of these voxels as a single cube-shaped polygon, that would result in some pretty incredible work for the hardware to do. Okay, it does at least leave some bullets, bullet holes. Now, it would be amazing if, like, I opened this thing up and some liquid poured out. I wouldn't expect that to happen, though. Can I, like, cut off the spigot here? That would be kind of cool. Doesn't even look like I can touch it. Oh, yeah, I can. Ha! Very cool. If you kind of blur your eyes, actually, this actually looks like some pretty high-level 3D render work. You just sort of have to, like, cross your eyes a bit and then just stare at it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very cool. What's through all these doors? Let's take a look. Wow. Weird stuff. Fancy piano. Some more ammo. I wonder if this has the trademark Wolfenstein wall shifting. Oh, light switch. Oh, I was hoping that would be maneuverable. Hey, Nazi chef. Can I not kill him? Okay, I guess he's just an animation. How strange. Something I would really like to see done is for someone to actually take an engine like this and map it over to Duke Nukem 3D. I think that would be really cool to see all of that reimagined with a destructible environment. What is that? I can't even tell. Oh, they're like suits of armor? Huh. Yeah, if this is actually a level from Wolfenstein, well, first of all, I probably wouldn't know, I guess, because I didn't play it a ton. But I would say that the decals and structures and sprites here are probably not at all available within the game, so I imagine this is all original work. The scope of what was available, and I believe this Hitler poster was, or picture was definitely in the game, but everything was very, very low resolution. So even just this voxel work looks much, much nicer. Oh, hello. He was not there a second ago, was he? Maybe he came down from up above. Heard me shooting at his buddies. Hey, it's a chain. Can I break through this? Now that's a whole thing too, like if the developer of this decided to use the destructibility of these objects as part of the way the gameplay works, that would actually be a whole nother level. Although it looks like, although it's shattering, it doesn't look like it's totally affecting stuff. Maybe I have to break the center? I was hoping to see the whole thing just sort of fall apart, although it's sort of doing that. I'd like to see this door open once I break off all of this stuff. I think that would be really neat. No, no, it doesn't look like it. I could still cut through the door, though. See if there's anything on the other side. Sort of make my own peephole here to look through. It looks like there's something going on over there. I can't quite see what, though. Something kind of creepy, actually. Oh, sorry. What am I looking at there? I really don't know what that is, but it's creeping me out. The idea that I could find someplace that you're not really supposed to be... Oh, can I cut through the safe, too? This is probably getting so old for you guys watching me cut through everything. But yeah, the idea that you could find something that you're not really supposed to find, like, break into a place that is really inaccessible, I find that really compelling, and I think it makes sort of emergent gameplay happen, and it's something I'd like to see happen more in the future. It's a pretty elaborate place wherever we are. Really shouldn't be wasting all my minigun ammo in case I run into some more Nazis that need squelching. It's like the great American pastime, killing Nazis. They really deserved it, though, I have to say. But let's not get too political here. I mean, this is just a game after all. Hello! Some sort of rudimentary ragdoll also, which seems like another tall order for voxels to have to deal with. Very, very ambitious, actually. I would love to see more of this type of game. Where else haven't I been? I feel like I've missed something or other. Could always backtrack. Nothing really over here. There was some place I could go, like, upstairs. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, there's like a bar. Oh, hello. No headshots? Yeah, I don't know. Last time I tried to jump over this, and I actually got stuck in the floor, which was a little annoying. Oh, look at that! You can actually shoot the bottles. Good detail, I love it. Well, I have lots of ammo, so why not mess around with the environment a bit, right? Is that a gun? Can I take... No. Hey! Treasure. Probably don't want to go around fire pits when you're in Nazi camps. Although this doesn't exactly look like a camp, it looks like some sort of a barracks, perhaps. Hey, it's a ton more ammo for this. Who is that? Can't quite tell. Target practice, I suppose. And you know, why stop at Duke 3D? Wow, that is a demented looking dog. Why don't you do Doom as well? Because, you know, Doom has rocket launchers and stuff. That would be really cool. Plus, we know the maps generally in and out for Doom, so being able to cheat through them would be really fun. And after Doom, we're gonna get into, like, Quake area, which is all actual 3D polygonal mapping anyway. So it probably won't be necessary to make voxel maps out of that stuff. Alright, where now? Does it say Ico? Oh no, KO. Is that... I think that's a dude killing a baby with a sword. That's not politically correct very much. Alright, been through there, been through there. I may have reached the natural conclusion of this map at this point. I could go and try and break down that door more and see what that weird gray thing was. Kinda curious still. Actually runs great too. I was surprised considering how much is going on. Oh, I should probably be searching for like pushable walls, because that's something that this was always known for. Where was it? It was upstairs and around the corner over here somewhere. There it is. So let's just lay into this door with most of the rest of my ammo and see what happens. See if I can take out chunks of it, then I should be able to cut into them better. That is one sturdy freaking door, man. But the decals and, well, not decals, but the way that the deformation happens, it definitely adds a level of interest to looking around at stuff. I mean, you couldn't really get much more specific for damage than that based on, like, per pixel. What the hell are you, dude? Cutting through this door would take a really long time. This looks like a laptop or something over in the corner. And the, you know, WASD keys are very sensitive, obviously, so it's kind of hard to move just a little bit. Okay, this thing is getting creepier the more I can see of it. It's like drinking a cup of tea. It has a gray face and pink lipstick on. I don't think I'm going to get in there anytime soon, but at least you could get a look at it. What is that? It looks like there's writing on the wall. I bet it would have been quicker to just cut through the wall, actually. Yep. Totally quicker. I could have probably done this in just a few seconds with the minigun. Maybe not. Maybe not. Still, really cool that you even can cut through the wall, because I can't say a lot of games you can do that in. I would probably give the knife a little bit more damage, or maybe it would be even another thing you could add, like, per material deformation, so certain materials, and you would have to tag those somehow, which could be difficult. But you would tag them so that they would break apart more easily or more difficult. And in a way, it actually did that, considering that there's metal surfaces I can't cut through with the knife. See, if I create this situation, I should be able to cut across, and then when there's nothing attached to it, it'll fall away. Alright, dude, I'm getting in. I don't care what you say. I wish I thought of this earlier. I hope I'm cutting low enough that I can actually walk through this. Okay, what is he doing? He's throwing like a ping pong ball into his mouth? I thought he was lifting up his hand with a cup of tea or something. Oh man, I still can't get in. This is getting frustrating now. Alright, well I think we can pretty much see what's in there. And it says LOL on the wall, which is pretty funny. Kinda wanna stab that dude. I could probably shoot him. No, he's just an animation like that chef Nazi downstairs. Alright, well I think that will wrap us up then for Voxelstein 3D. Very interesting idea, and I would love to see more stuff like this. Free download, as always I'll put the download in the link. You guys can take a look at what the hell this dude is and see for yourself, I guess. So as always, head on over to facebook.com/indieimpressions. That's where I post every night's video, and you can stay up on whatever is going on with the channel. You know, I post news updates and talk with you guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please send those over right over there, or through my Twitter, which my personal one is @RockLeeSmile, and then the one for the show is @IndieImpression. If you follow @IndieImpression, you will get basically an instant update as soon as I upload a video every day. Hey, there's a weird fish in the toilet. That is strange. There's some weird art in this. So that will do it for today. Make sure to stop back tomorrow, because like I said, I always do these every single day. And you can stay up on all the new indie games, or maybe all the old indie games, so this has been around for a while, that are floating around. And this is not even its own game, really. It's like a derivation engine build or something. I don't know what to call it. But it's interesting nonetheless, and I hope you enjoyed a look at it. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Later.